going to mangle you green slime balls.
Welcome to the One Up Cast
For December.
where we talk about the things we're playing and things that's going on in our lives, and then we have a special topic for the end of the year. We will be talking about the One Up Cups Game of the Year.
PP.
It'll be Ando, Bird, and Adam
Yes.
picking our favorite game of the year, pitching it to Tom, and Tom gets to decide out of the three.
Can I explain why I have
Tom
to?
sucks and
Why?
didn't play
Because
anything
Tom
new.
doesn't play video games anymore.
He doesn't play anything new. That's what
I
it
don't,
is.
because I have this whole backlog of Steam shit that I want to play. But I did play. I played two games that came out in 2018. I played Call of Cthulhu, which is clearly not going to win any Game of the Year awards, and the Dark Souls remaster.
But I mean, it was good though. Right?
It was great. I enjoyed it a lot.
Call of Cthulhu.
Yeah. I enjoyed it a lot, but I don't think it would win a Game of the Year award, nor do I think that it would deserve one, but it's Tom's choice of the year. So
Fair.
that's why I'll be deciding who's right and who's wrong.
Yep.
So yeah.
All right, so we're going to start off with, as we normally do, we're going to go through and say what we've been playing, what we've been listening to, what we've been reading, and we're going to plow through that pretty quickly, and then we're going to go talk into our main event. Our Game of the Year. Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry. All right,
Jesus
Ando,
Christ.
kick us off.
Oh shit! I gotta go first. What I've been playing has been Red Dead Redemption 2,
You playing
and
Red Dead?
I like it. Not Game of the Year material, but I like it.
Okay.
I feel the same way with Tom. This is what I'll say this real quick. It's a Rockstar game, so it feels like a Rockstar game. I'm intrigued to know what happens next, so I keep playing to find out what happens next. But I also feel like that it's almost predictable, and that it's going to fall apart soon, and then pick back up in the last mission, like most Rockstar games I've
If
played.
all of the coverage I've heard about the game is true, you're 100% right.
I'm at the end of chapter 3. I can feel that I'm at the end of chapter 3.
Yeah.
Apparently, after once you get to chapter 5 is when it starts to shit.
That's what I've heard. That's what everyone I work with says. So I've been playing that. I'm also playing a good, in my mind, fighting game, but with a shitty title.
Super Smash Brothers Ultimate.
No.
Oh, sorry.
I'm playing the My Hero Academia game that is called My Hero One's Justice.
Oh.
I don't understand
That's
the
a
title.
very awkward title.
I don't understand the title, but I love it. It captured the feel of the show, of the manga. It has a very really realistic like it looks like a motion comic.
Oh, okay, cool.
Like the artwork in it looks like I'm reading like an American comic that's done by Japanese artists. It's done really well.
Cool.
Watching, I'm now caught up on The Good Place. Oh yeah. We've been marathoning that show like crazy. Now we're finally caught up. Watched the mid-season finale. If anyone doesn't watch that show,
All
it's
the
fucking-
Janets.
Adam fucking loves it. It has a really weird, absurd, dark comedy to it, which it doesn't feel like it should be on basic cable.
And Ted Danson's in it.
Ted Danson is in.
Motherfucking
I
Danson.
love
Yeah,
Ted Danson.
he's in it.
You know who he's married to?
Who?
Mary Steenburgen.
Mary Steenburgen.
There you go. It has a really weird comedy to it. I'm also watching a new show on Adult Swim called The Shivering Truth.
Oh,
which
I
is
saw a commercial for that.
Is really fucking weird.
Yeah, I bet.
That's another show which I was also read as described as a John dies at the end style show, because all it is just absurd stories back to back. It's a bunch of like clips. Like the first episode, there was about this guy that every time he tried to kill himself, he did something good for the world. Like he tried to kill himself and he tried to like kill himself by shoving his head in the oven, found a bunch of gold at the end in the back of the oven, used that gold to buy a very expensive noose. He hung himself with the noose. The ceiling caved in, found two kids that were kidnapped in the floor above him. The kids donated all their money to a charity to make him happy. So he used that money to make the strongest cocktail of all the poisons in the world. Somehow all the poisons interacted, made a cure. So now he's immune to all diseases.
What? This is incredible.
It's a weird fucking show.
What's it called again?
The Shivering Truth. It's a bunch of like just weird short stories about like the weirdest fucking things that like anyone can come up with.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm watching those two, and as far as anything I'm listening to, not really music lately. I've been listening to podcasts, and one podcast I've been listening to, which is hilarious. It's called My Brother, and Me, and it's just three brothers answering Yahoo questions online and giving the worst advice possible.
That's
It's hilarious.
fantastic. That's fantastic.
So if anyone likes stuff like that, listen to that too.
Nice.
All right, Bird, go.
I got Smash. I've been playing through Smash. I unlocked all the characters in Smash.
Fucking
I'm playing through adventure mode in Smash. That's about all I've been
he's fucking
playing.
playing.
Is the adventure mode any good? You collect like the little spirit things that are all from like different series and stuff.
Your shtick is
I like it. I like it. The other cool thing about the spirits is you get certain ones that start off as like so like I had a couple of the Fire Emblem amiibos, so I had the Tiki amiibo. You get her, you enhance her to level 99, and then she enhances, so she's the adult version
Oh,
of
okay.
Tiki.
Cool.
So there are some that like that'll do that, some that'll have special abilities. Found all sorts of crazy shit.
nice.
Ocelot from Metal Gear and stuff like that. So that's brother. I watched all of the episodes of the new Mystery Science Theater.
Oh, nice.
season that came out. The 6 episodes.
Better have
Meant to
watched
be-
Mac and Me. That Mac and
McAfee was fucking
the
good. It was
best
fucking
one.
great. It was really good. The whole season was really
Yeah.
good. And they ended in a way like the story for the show. They ended in such a way that if it doesn't come back, it'll make sense.
Okay.
I think it did well enough that they'll probably get another
Sure.
season. So
I think they're planning on it.
listen, I haven't listened to much new, but I did get back into Mutoid Man again recently, which I've been listening to. I also got back into my vaporwave kick again, which is like I'll put it on at work and just be like, okay, this is like, all right, I'll do some paperwork and listen to this. So
Right.
that's what all I've been doing. So not much.
Thomas.
So I don't know. I forget when we recorded. Did we record the last podcast at the end? Like, did we do that after Thanksgiving or before?
I think before.
Okay.
Before.
So since then, I watched the entire series of Brad Neely's Hargnal Encyclopedia Pipio.
Oh yeah.
Oh my fucking god, that show is incredible. It's so asinine and things happen so quickly that it's just great. Like, if something sucks, don't worry, it'll be over in 30 seconds.
Yeah. That's how quick
So
that show
they'll just
is.
move on to something else. Also, I didn't realize that Gabrielle Sidibe was in that show.
Yeah. I think she had a character in his other show, the China, Illinois.
That was the one
could be
was
wrong.
that the one that had Hogan and Mach in it?
Yeah.
Okay, then I fucking loved that show.
Yeah. I think she may have been in that show as well, but
I
don't
would
know.
believe it. That's as far as watching stuff. That's really the only thing I've been watching. That and have talked about it several times, but I've been watching a bunch of episodes of 2 Minutes to Late Night, which is the heavy metal night like late night show.
Yeah.
And it's fucking great. Which is why when Bird was talking about Mutoid Man, I got excited because they're the house band for that show.
They recorded the last episode of that like just like last night or something.
Oh, really?
So, yeah. For the year.
Yeah, but I haven't really been watching much. When Becky and I get home from work and stuff, we usually just like throw on episodes of The Simpsons and stuff because we use PlayStation View. We don't have like cable or anything, so it's just like, oh, throw on an episode of The Simpsons and fucking 47 will play until we're ready for bed, or we end up watching YouTube or whatever. I've been playing a strange variety of games. I think I said last time I was playing Quake 2, which I'm still playing, but I'm going back on something that I said I wasn't going to do, which was I got really, really far into System Shock 2
Wow.
last year. And it was around this time that I think I started. And I got really far into the game. Like, I was almost done, but the character loadout that I made, like the build that I made, it wasn't very effective. So by the time I got to the end of the game, I had no ammo, barely any life. I wasn't able to use a lot of the stuff that I needed to use, and basically I fucked myself. And whenever I reformatted my computer, it was on my other hard drive, my save data, and I'm like, well, fuck it. I'm definitely not going to go get that. And my save data on my other computer at work was like 4 hours behind that, so I wasn't going to do that. So I just decided today, fuck it, I'm just going to start it from the beginning. And I started it from the beginning, and I picked good stats to start with, and I can kill regular enemies with one, because you can either do like a quick attack, or you can like charge it up and swing it one time, like your melee weapon. And I swing it one time, and I kill most generic enemies in one hit. So I was like, all right, I feel better about this. Because there's a lot of shit that you can pump in that game. Like, just like there's vitality and agility and strength and your psi powers and your ability to use standard weapons or heavy weapons or melee weapons. And then there's all the psi abilities and all like the hacking and all this other shit. And I'm like, holy fuck. Like, and I was scared of Dark Souls before I played it about all of the stats. And I look at like, this is worse. And I'm like, oh my fucking God. And I'm like, I'm just going to do what makes sense for my character. So basically I'm making my character my Dark Souls build, which is he's a big guy who's pretty dumb, but he can hit the shit out of stuff. So that's what I'm going for. Yeah. Other than that, I got a bunch of games on the Steam sale recently. My other plan is to go back and play Dusk. Because I beat the first two episodes of that, and the game had its final release just a week ago, or not even a week ago, earlier in the week, as of this recording. So I'm probably going to go back and play that. It's not a short game, but it's not long either. Yeah. It's about what you would expect from like an old id Software game. But in terms of listening to stuff, I don't know. I'm back on my old shit. Because now that the Rise from Your Grave album is done, I'm like, all right, it's back. Let's just go back and listen to the shit we're used to listening to. Because when I'm recording stuff, it's like I'm listening to other stuff, so I'm not like absorbing other people's ideas. And now I'm just like, I don't know. I have a playlist that just has 60 songs of all of Megadeth songs that I like.
I was gonna tell you, I was in the drive-thru at Burger King and heard "Kick the Chair." So
it's a good fucking song. But yeah,
it's like one of their best that's post 2000. So,
but yeah, so I was just like, fuck it, 60 song playlist of Megadeth. That's what I'm listening to in the next couple of days. So, yep, just doing that, and that's pretty much it.
Yep. All right. So I have been playing Red Dead 2, but I took a break from that when Smash came out, so I've been playing through that a little bit. What else have I been playing? Spyro, the new trilogy, that's been good. I finally beat Castlevania Symphony of the Night for the very first time in my life, but I kind of
with the Chrysogrim.
With the Chrysogrim. If they didn't put it in the game,
but that's like a thing you get,
baby.
That's what you get. Like,
no,
you do that after you beat it once.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm a piece of shit, but I did it. So fuck you. I needed that out of my life.
I got it like really early in one of my playthroughs one time.
Well, the earliest you can get it is in the library.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I'm going to say this. Never got it.
Yeah.
The first time I had ever seen it is when Becky played it recently, and she was farming for it.
That motherfucking game.
It does. It absolutely destroys the game.
You
can kill Beelzebub in like 4 hits.
So,
Alucard's assist trophy in Smash uses it, and he's probably one of the best assist trophies in the whole fucking game because of it.
Yeah. Been watching The Good Place with the wife, chewed through that. Great fucking show. And music-wise, I've been writing stuff. So, like what Tom said before, he's like, you don't really listen to too much new things, or because you don't want to absorb anything. But it's kind of you go into this hibernation mode, and you're like, I'm not looking at other people's shit. I'm just listening to mine.
Because I'm so afraid, like with the stuff that I listen to, like I'm so afraid that I'm going to hear something. I'm going to hear something new, and I'm going to be like, oh, that was great. Right. And then I'm going to wake up like 2 days from now.
It sits in the back of your head.
Yeah, and wake up and be like, oh my God, I came up with this riff, and it's the exact same thing.
I've done that a number of times. Like, motherfucker, I had to like trash the whole thing.
Yeah.
Or you'll pull something out of you like, I'll use this part because this is safe. This is not anything similar.
Oh, I have a quick story once you're done with
that's it. I'm quick, easy.
So, this is... For those of you who are even remotely interested in any of the music stuff that Adam and I do, maybe you'll appreciate the story, maybe you won't. I know Adam will appreciate the story as he smells his shoe.
What smelled?
I was laying in bed the other night, and this has happened to me before, but I was laying in bed, and I'm starting to fall asleep, and then this riff just keeps happening in my head. And I'm like, man, this is really good. And then it starts and then as you're getting comfortable with it, it just starts adding stuff. So you're hearing the drums, then you're hearing the vocals. I'm like, I gotta get up and record this. Where's my phone? And then I realized that I was so far asleep that I didn't realize that I wasn't actually you know what I mean? Like you're in that sort of I'm so asleep. Yeah. I'm so asleep that I don't realize that I'm not actually awake anymore. And I'm like, I got to get up and do this. And I'm like, no, I'm already asleep.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Tom, when you're asleep, you can't write music in your dreams because you can't read in your dreams.
I know. Thanks, Batman.
I'm not having this argument.
I had that same thing the other day happen. I woke up, I was in that twilight point, and you're like, it was a song I was working on, so it was like something was building from that. I'm like, oh yeah. Oh yeah. And then once you start coming out of the sleep, and you're like, no, it's gone.
No!
It's gone. Fuck.
Yeah, that's the worst.
Yeah.
Because there was all these not complex parts, but it was all these layers just started happening, and I'm like, shit, get up, you fuck, get up.
Yeah. But in reality, your brain thinks this is amazing, but really it's just like beep boop.
Yeah. There have been a couple of times where I've actually pulled it off though, where I've been laying in bed and I'm like, oh my God, I have it. And I just grab my phone and I'm like, beep, 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 into my phone. And then I listen to it the next day and I'm like, no, I still remember it.
Yep.
There's an old Seinfeld, an episode from Seinfeld where he wakes up from a deep sleep and writes a joke down and then falls back asleep. And then he wakes up in the morning. He's like, "What the fuck? What did I just write?" He's like showing it to everyone. Like, what is this? What does this mean to you? What does this say? And no one can figure it out. He doesn't know what it is.
Yeah.
It's like the whole episode.
Oh shit!
All right, the time has come for the One Up Cup's Game of the Year argument/debate.
Can I say what my 2019 Game of the Year is already?
Mortal Kombat.
You're goddamn right, it is.
I knew it was going to be as soon as you said that.
This motherfucker, 11 o'clock at night when they announced it on the Game Awards, is losing his goddamn mind.
Well, these two, fucking Bird and Adam, are like, you guys watching the Game Awards? And Ando and I are both like, no.
I'm trying to watch anime on Crunchyroll. Leave me alone.
I'm in.
Wait, there's a Psychonauts 2 trailer. Don't you fuck with me on this one. Don't you fuck around.
Well, then Bird's
I text Tom and I'm like two different Scorpions and Punish Raid, and he's like, shut the fuck up!
Stop telling me! And
I'm like, it comes out in April. He's like, shut up!
So I went and watched the trailer, and I'm like, now you can talk about it.
Yeah.
By that time, I'm like, I told him everything I was going to say.
But yeah, I'm super excited for that.
We're gonna hold that to you if that's still your Game of the Year by the end of the year.
I would almost guarantee it. Honestly, NetherRealm hasn't let me down in terms of a Mortal Kombat game yet. I wasn't a huge fan of the story mode in Mortal Kombat X, but it was still decent.
I think it was done better in 10 than it was in 9.
It was done better, but the story itself was much. Yeah, the story itself was much better in Mortal Kombat 9, I thought. But yeah, I find it hard to believe. I mean, it might not be my Game of the Year by then, but I'm sure I'll still love it because it's hard for me not to love Mortal Kombat. I like Reptile and Sub-Zero and Rain too much. Also, the fucking Twitter, everybody on Twitter is like, fucking Rain better be in this game. Yes, he better.
Also, everyone on my Twitter was like, holy shit, Joker from Persona 5 and Smash.
Yeah.
Which was the thing.
Yeah, just doing Everybody Is Here for Mortal Kombat 11.
Right. Yeah.
Make meat and mocap and...
Oh my god. I want the garbage characters.
Yeah.
Give me Cobra. Yeah. Give me Cobra. Give me Movado. Give me them all.
Rumor is that Ferrotor is not going to be in it. But
I've heard there's a couple of returning characters.
Returning characters are not coming back.
Yeah, which sucks. Because there was a lot of those. There was a lot of those new characters I liked.
Oh,
but
real quick, my 2019 Game of the Year, if it's still coming out, Pizza Tower.
Oh, yeah. I think Fight Night's supposed to come out next year, too.
Hopefully.
He's coming out on consoles, too.
Yep. I just got a Kickstarter update from them, but I haven't read it yet.
Yeah,
it was just today, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, for anyone that doesn't know, we did a video on Fight Night. Pizza Tower is like a Wario Land successor type game where you play
followed that one because I knew Ando would want to know more about it.
I want to know everything about that game.
I just started sending him videos.
Yeah, if anyone doesn't know, look that up.
Yeah. So
The
anyway,
animations are great.
All right, Tom, I'm going to lead this off to you.
Okay.
Because you can be our little ringleader.
all right. So I am the judge, jury, and executioner.
Yep.
So I'd like to start off by saying that if any of you vote for Red Dead, it is immediately not getting One Up Cup's Game of the Year because they don't care.
Yeah, and I want to say that
I don't say that to be edgy, and
Right,
I
and
know
I
I have
wasn't-
that. I know I have that persona on this channel of being the edgelord, but like
Rockstar Games.
I mean, I've said it 1,000 times. Like they all just kind of feel the same to me.
right, and I said that before, and I'm like, I wasn't saying that to be shitty about it either.
Right.
I like the game.
Yeah.
I like where it's going. It's just story wise, I don't like as of right now, it's like we know what happens.
Right.
This is a prequel. And
Right.
we know what's gonna fucking happen.
Right.
John Marston's gonna kill everyone.
Right.
We've seen it. We did it in the last game.
Right. And I think with all of the reviews that I'm seeing from people, because I follow, not to like name drop people, not that it fucking matters. I mean, other people on YouTube watch other people on YouTube.
Yeah.
But like, I watch Funhouse's stuff and I watch Donkey's review and I've watched some other people. And it's like everybody seems to have the same feeling about it, but everyone seems to like everyone's like, oh, like gushing about it, but they all have the same problems with it. It's like, okay, well, if it's as good as everybody's gushing about it, then why is everyone saying the same thing?
Why
apart.
does everybody have the same problems with it, but they're not giving it? It's got a 90-7 on Metacritic.
Right.
If this game's so great, why does it make me want to just play the first one over again?
Right. So
When I could be playing the new one
so
that I haven't finished.
that's my thing with Red Dead. Obviously I've said before how I feel about Rockstar Games and how they're all kind of the same, but that's why I don't think Red Dead should have, even though it didn't deserve Game of the Year because the general
totally didn't get the Game Awards Game of the Year.
Right.
It deserved to be nominated.
So fucking surprised at
it was.
I think it deserved to be nominated because
yeah.
it is really fucking good.
And I
but
believe
it's
that.
not worth Game of the Year,
Yeah.
I don't think.
Yeah, I feel like if it suffers from the same problems that happened in GTA 6 or GTA 5, then have you really improved on your product? Like obviously you made horse balls shrink and grow, that's great. Like funny meme, you guys, awesome, but yeah. So I haven't personally played it, but that's my opinion. So here we go. Ando, since you're the closest to me, please make your case for your video game for Game of the Year.
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Because I said it last podcast when I said I was still playing it, that I figured it was going to be my game of the year. And it is.
Okay.
I haven't played that many games as I can remember that came out this year, but Spider-Man is probably my favorite.
Okay.
I think since I was a fetus, I've been reading Spider-Man.
Uh-huh.
So I'm going to pick Spider-Man.
I mean, if you couldn't tell by my 15 Spider-Man Christmas tree over there, I'm a little into Spider-Man as
Yeah.
well.
So
Ando came out of the womb saying, Peter Parker.
yeah.
Let me shoot my spooters.
I mean, I've read it for as long as I could fucking read. It has an amazing fucking story. The world that you're in is fucking great.
Uh-huh.
It doesn't fucking handhold you with the let's do a fucking origin story again. No, you know all these fucking characters. You know who they're gonna be or who they already are. If you've read a single comic, a single issue of Spider-Man, you're gonna know what you're getting yourself into.
Sure.
Even if you haven't.
Right.
If you've only seen the movies or something, you're gonna know. Like this web swinging is probably the best web swinging I've had in a game ever. Like the controls are fucking tight. Combat's great.
What's the combat like? Describe it by just telling me the name of another video game.
Okay, Arkham Asylum.
Okay.
But
Is it
faster.
Better.
But better. Okay.
The missions can be a little repetitive, mainly like the side ones.
Sure. But it's also like a 60-hour
But
game,
it's like,
isn't
what
it?
can you really do to pad out a game like that?
I mean, it's like over 60 hours, right?
I
I
got
don't
maybe
know
about like 30
Oh, okay. Okay.
doing everything.
But still.
I didn't do everything. Like I didn't fully gold medal all the challenges. I didn't do all the crimes.
Okay.
Which I may have been lacking in a couple. I didn't do all the photos, but I got, in the grand scheme of things, in my first game playthrough, which I haven't done New Game Plus or anything, or I haven't done whatever, I'm at least, I think I'm like 80 some percent.
So I feel like this is a good theory to have that I feel like game developers should adopt. So it's a 30-hour game, right?
Yeah.
And let's say you only did the main story. Let's just say like I'm going to play Spider-Man tomorrow and all I'm going to do is I'm going to play the story missions. If you make the story missions not the same repetitive shit, doing the same repetitive shit for side missions is totally acceptable.
Yeah.
So like in Assassin's Creed where you have all those fucking tailing missions and all those ones where you have to find somebody in the crowd and there's like fucking 40 of them in the game and some of them are story missions and some of them are side missions. If you take all of those shitty missions and make them side missions, cool. Make your story missions interesting.
Yeah.
Leave your side mission stuff. You can make that the stuff you spend less time on. But make your story missions important.
Yeah.
Right.
So tell me one thing about your game choice that you would think would not make Spider-Man the game of the year. And it can be, you can make a joke. I will accept joke answers.
They got rid of the puddles.
I was hoping that's where you were going to go with it.
I mean, I don't want to say it's a perfect game, but to me it is. I'm sure there are flaws to the game, and like I said,
Well, it hits especially being a fan, it hits all your buttons.
everything.
Yeah.
If this is the only one we get, perfect, fine. It had a good enough ending. Sure, it was a little bit cliffhangery to let up sequel bait kind of thing.
Sure.
That's fine. I'm fine. I mean, if this is all we got, it would be fine.
Okay.
Some of the stuff that did drag it down was going back to the lab and doing. There's like these like side like it's almost a side mission, but you have to do them to advance the story at some points.
It's like a fetch quest kind of thing.
There's like these like
puzzles.
weird I'm gonna like puzzles, hacking puzzles.
Oh, okay.
They're okay, but it's like, do we really need to do this? Could have just been resolved in a cutscene,
Right.
kind of thing.
Or could this have been saved for a side mission that you didn't need to actually do?
That too.
Yeah.
Like they're fine. They're still fine, but it's like
Right.
But I could see that taking a little bit of the momentum out.
Like, okay, I get it. We all know Peter Parker's a scientist too.
Sure.
We all don't need to see that. Sometimes they skip that in the comics most times because it can kind of be boring.
Right. All right. Adam?
All right. My game of the year is God of War.
Uh-huh. Which is the one that actually won Game of the Year,
Which
by the
actually
way.
is the one that won Game of the Year. It's tough to pinpoint exactly what it is, but I think it comes down to narrative, gameplay, and just the overall world it's building.
Uh-huh.
If you played you've played the previous ones, right?
I've played all of the main console games.
Okay, so those,
the
then you
first three.
got the gist of it. To take that, if you go back and play those now, they're very bombastic and crazy and over the top. This one kind of does dial it back a little bit, makes it a little more rooted in humanity to a degree. I mean, it's obviously fucking batshit nuts, but it takes that crazy button mashing combat and turns it into something that's actually turned me on to Dark Souls and playing Bloodborne again. That very calculated and controlled combat. It's just tight to feel, and throwing that axe and calling it back is just magical every fucking time.
By axe, you mean boy?
Yeah, calling boy back. The narrative on top of it all. Very few games. I mean, I love my artsy fartsy games. I love that emotion that things can. But the game capture, the mocap for this with the actors is one of the most recent ones that comes to mind that just took human facial expressions and said more than any word could say in dialogue. There's a number of scenes where you're seeing this conversation between boy and Kratos, and you see the look on his face, and you see like parental approval or disapproval, but he's not saying anything because it's a teaching moment for his son or something like that.
Sure.
You get such a amazing interaction between the two. I mean, all the other characters, and the game itself focuses on the two of them, but overall, it's also a bigger story that they're building. Like,
Sure.
That where it comes to that game world. Something's happening. You don't know too much about it yet. If I told you the 30,000-foot view, it'd be like, well, that's okay. Yeah, there's a Greek god in the Norse mythology. Who gives a shit? Like, okay. So now, but things are happening. It's starting laying down the groundwork for the second one. But it doesn't have to do that. It's just there. But the game focuses on this interaction between Kratos and his son. It's fan-fucking-tastic.
So I guess one of my questions is, because I haven't played. I played I think like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
At your place one time. I guess my question is it a detriment to? Now, see, this makes it sound like it's the worst thing ever, but do you think that the tonal shift could be considered a bad thing?
No, I think it's a maturity thing.
I thought it was weird, but like it seems like it.
If you were playing the last one and then that game came out, and that was on the PS3 when that came out.
Yep.
Yeah.
That wasn't that a launch title or pretty close?
No,
it was like
a couple
mid.
years in.
Oh, was it?
Yeah,
I thought it was pretty early.
I'm thinking 2003 was the time. I mean,
It wasn't like super early, but yeah.
if that came out, not 2003,
2012, 2011.
yeah, something like that. But for you, if that came out 2-3 years later on a typical release schedule, this would be like, oh, what did they do? They didn't trust this anymore. But those games ended at a perfect time where that needed to fucking end. It was that button mashing. It's fun to play, but it's.
I mean, and again, the series doesn't really end at 3 anyway. There's all the PSP.
Well, those were like
and all
prequels,
that.
and all that
stuff. But like
it was getting tiresome. That genre.
Yeah.
and it was also, and I also feel like it was the emulated path for video games for a very long time.
a lot of people
Like how once Arkham came out, that everybody did the Arkham thing.
Yeah.
And now, I mean, obviously everybody's doing the fucking battle royale thing,
Yeah.
but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, this is very Souls light.
Sure.
LIGHT light. I think it works really well because they saw what makes those games fun and tactical and still enjoyable to play, and then giving it to someone who isn't comfortable with those games, making it a little easier and actually giving you an option to make it on easy if you can't do it.
So what would you say would be something that would make it not be the game of the year?
Game of the year. Jokes time.
boy.
Yeah, boy.
Not enough boy.
Not enough. There's not enough boy in my my Dad of Boy. Not enough
I was
boy
gonna
in my
say
Dad of Boy.
it from watching you play it. It seemed like, and this might be like a get good perspective, but it seemed like it was like they really like ramped up the difficulty for this one, and it seemed weird that they did that.
Yeah.
and then same with
we
the
played
tone,
an hour
too.
and a half of trying to beat the last Valkyrie, but that was
Yeah.
that's the
But
hardest
that's a
thing
secret
in
boss.
the game.
But but still, like most it's just like, oh, whack them a couple times and then do this quick.
This was meant to be
quick
challenging,
cutscene.
like to make you work for it.
Yeah.
And that's why I did get satisfaction. I played it on normal. I didn't play it on hard or easy, but you knew you could do it, and you were doing something wrong, and you just had to pay attention more, or build up a stat, or change a loadout. Just maybe that was enough to turn the tide for you.
Sure.
And that's what I liked. I like because it's very Souls-like. You kind of have to give a little effort into this, not just press square to win.
like the previous
Yeah.
games.
And I do have another gripe. The money system in the game is by the end of the game, you have more money than you could ever possibly do. In the beginning of the game, you're like kind of struggling a little bit. So it could have been balanced. Probably if I go back and play it again, New Game Plus, or
That's kind of how the Souls games work, though.
Yeah,
Is
at a
like
certain
once
point,
you
you're
get about halfway, 3/4 of the way through the game, you're not really struggling to level up anymore.
Yeah.
Because you're so powerful that you can go back to earlier areas and just grind shit into dust.
Yeah.
But yeah, Bird.
Okay, so I have a quick question. Do you consider a game that comes out this year, like the Switch version came out this year? The initial version.
I would
came
say
out
the
on Steam?
initial. I would say an initial launch.
Okay.
Should have to be in
Okay.
2018
All right.
because that would technically mean that the game was released in 2017.
Well, because I
I couldn't say the Katamari remake that came out the other day.
Well,
It was my
it
game
was
of the
just-
year.
Well, I mean, the game I'm talking about came out last year. It's not like it came out like
Right.
a long time ago. But I'm gonna say I was initially gonna say something else. I'm gonna say Far Cry 5.
Okay.
So Far Cry has always been one of those series that's been. I've always minus the first one, ever since I played 2, it's one of those. It has problems, but as it goes along, it fixes a lot of things.
Sure.
Um,
You don't have malaria.
You don't have malaria.
You're not
No,
a malaria
this one.
werewolf.
No. Although two has a lot of systems that are really great, and they kind of hinder you, but it also makes it a very different experience
Sure.
to play than 3 or any of those Onward games.
Like trying to get your daughter's Ombrex.
Yeah, pretty much.
Hey,
But
2 is still
it was,
okay.
to be honest, the other game I was gonna pick was Valkyria Chronicles 4, but I didn't feel comfortable picking it only because I haven't finished it yet.
Right.
So I don't know what the ending is like. Valkyria Chronicles 4 is great because not only do you have all these unique characters and stuff like that, but like even the side characters, they all have different personalities and different traits, and like you use them for so many missions. And then there's like basically like there's a side mission where there's 3 different characters and they'll like team up for a side mission, and then like some of their negative traits will become positive traits or something like that.
Sure.
Help you out now. But Far Cry 5, it was honestly just like I can pick up a Far Cry game as soon as it comes out and play it from beginning to end and have fun doing the Ubisoft grindy go, kill this guy, go blow up this place,
Right.
Get this radio tower. There's not so
Sure.
much of that 5, but
Right.
it was just, and they put a lot of characters in it. Like there's a decent amount of interesting characters. There weren't, in like 3 and 4, it's kind of like, oh, here's the bad guys. Look how crazy they are. And like, especially with 3, it's like, oh, I'm gonna save my friend, and then you don't see them for the rest of the game.
Right.
You still see a lot of the characters that you run into because you go to, this person's area, and she, it's Faith, and she's the one that has all the trippy drugs, and she pops up out of nowhere.
Right.
And all the good guys are at the jail, and the sheriff is there, and you have to go back and talk to him, and there's other people you come back and talk
Sure.
to. So Far Cry is just like, it's the biggest game that I probably played all year that wasn't something that didn't come out last year, or like I played a lot of Shining Force 1 on stream all
Sure.
year. So I played a lot of that. But it's just fun to me.
Right.
Like some people complain that there's not and there's some variation between game to game, but it was
It's like
a lot
the
of
setting,
fun.
really.
What's that?
It's the setting, really, that changes.
Yeah,
for the most part.
and the setting's fun. Being in that Americana, and you're fighting against what are basically terrorists, and they kind of downplay it because I think
Yeah, they got in some kind of hot water.
they got
with
some
that.
hot water when they were trying to play it off. Like it when they first announced it, it was kind of meant to be like, I think some people took it like, oh, it's very right wing extremists, and then they kind of downplayed a lot of that, where like,
Right.
oh, it's not, they're not like really recruiting people. It's kind of like they're just using drugs and making people into zombies, so that's not as bad, right?
Right.
So they kind of downplay it, more than they should. I wish they would have had the guts to do that, but
Right.
I understand why they didn't. But it was honestly just a lot of fun. There's a Blood Dragon reference where a guy is like some crazy like director, and he wants to make a Blood Dragon movie, so you basically have to like lure a bunch of like drug zombies in and like kill them in certain ways. But it was really fun. They've already announced a new one that's supposed to come out in February, so if you don't know what the ending is, don't look up anything for that game because it completely ruins it.
Right.
And the ending's good in a dark way, but for all the characters you meet and the people you recruit, it's kind of
you don't really get any. You meet all these characters and they're helping you out, and you get a nice round arc for your main character
Sure.
and for the bad guys, but none of the other good guys really get.
So there isn't like a Chewie standing in the background going when they put their metal on you.
No.
So the supporting characters
no.
are Telltale games. Their choices don't matter.
It's just kind of like
they meet.
But
they
no, I
they're
get it.
matter,
they're
but by
there to elevate your story, not
They're
to have
there
their
to
Yeah.
just push you
Okay.
along.
The characters have an arc, and that you see all these characters that you've met up with during
Sure.
the game at the end. But
But
by
the
the end of it
like the characters are basically there. I mean, they have
Yeah.
Just
obviously
set pieces.
they're there to move your story along. They're
yeah,
not they're not
all
necessarily
those
there to be
characters
companions.
are really good.
Yeah, they're
Right.
all actually really good. I think they could have had a better payoff for them.
Right.
The
They could have
DLC.
had their own
I
things.
played 2 of the 3 DLCs. I played the Vietnam DLC, which is like basically it's just like you're in Vietnam, you've got to find different guns and you've got to get out and find these certain guys. Not a very big map. The Mars one was a lot different because it's basically you're playing as Nick, who's one of the guys from the game. He's the airplane pilot.
Uh-huh.
And Hutch, who's the guy who was like your co-op partner in 4.
Uh-huh.
He shows up as one of the side characters in 5.
Oh, okay.
And he gets captured and he shows up as a head. So in the Mars missions, you have to find his body parts
That's hilarious.
to put his body back
You gotta
together.
find Dracula's
And I never
coccyx.
played the zombie ones because by
duodenum.
that time I was kind of over it.
Right.
So maybe, all of the DLC didn't catch me. And I think part of it was just I didn't play a lot of games from this year.
Right.
Like Valkyria was the one I was like really excited for. And I played Smash and I love Smash, but it just came out like a couple days ago. I don't
It's-
know that I could put it on my list.
It's also Smash.
right.
Yeah.
Like Smash
Like, it's really good and I
Smash
love
is
it.
a good game. I like playing Smash, but Smash is never going to win fucking game of the year for me.
Yeah.
So much like Bird, I also played very few games from 2018. The ones I did play, I did enjoy, but in terms of games that you would think would be nominated for Game of the Year, I haven't played any. So I played Call of Cthulhu, I played Dusk, I've played some other games, but none of those have been games that I would consider to be eligible for Game of the Year. I like them all.
Can I say the one game that I wanted to pick but didn't come out this year?
What's that?
Was the Infectious Madness of Dr. Decker.
Oh, yeah.
Their new game came out, The Shape-Shifting Detective, but I've played like maybe an hour of that,
Right.
so I can't really say if that's good or not.
So yeah,
Anyway, go on.
before I give my verdict, I will say that if you are interested even slightly in a detective game, play Call of Cthulhu. Since I would say that's Tom's personal game of the year. Because it hit all of my buttons. Much like Ando and Spider-Man, it pushed all my buttons. I want a detective game. I want a game where my choices matter. And I want fucking eldritch fucking horrors. And I got them all. So if that's even remotely interesting to you, go ahead and play that game. So I will cast my verdict based exclusively on your persuasiveness. You know what? Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do the Mario Party style version of this. So everybody's gonna get stars based on things, and then we're gonna decide. Based on your sheer persuasiveness, Adam gets star number 1 for God of War. Based on your enthusiasm, Ando gets a star for fucking Spider-Man. And for being honest about the fucking video game, Bird gets a star for fucking... Because, you said the problem, you said you had more than one thing to say about what was wrong with the game.
Yeah.
But you still enjoyed it, and that's what fucking matters.
It was one of the games that I put it in when I first bought it. I don't think I bought it day one, but I bought it within the first week, and I played through it like religiously as soon as I got it.
That's good. I like that. Because there is no game that is perfect. No matter how many times guys on the internet tell you that Dark Souls 2 is the superior experience, they're lying.
So
And they're wrong. So there's your Mario Party 3 stars.
Oh boy, this is tough.
Just cut it right here.
I'm gonna say 1UP Cup Game of the Year is gonna have to be the real Game of the Year, God of War.
I thought you were gonna come up with some.
I was waiting for a fourth one.
or something.
No, that would have been good though. 1UP Cup Game of the Year is Dusk. No, yeah, I'm gonna go with God of War, because from what I watched Adam play, it really pushed my buttons. And the story seemed interesting. The tonal shift worked for me. But I thought it was strange, but it worked.
Yeah, it's really weird.
I think the only reason I didn't pick Spider-Man was because I feel like Spider-Man does a lot of the same things that previous Spider-Man games have done. That's not bad, but I feel like God of War did something different with itself in that, because it doesn't play like a Dark Souls game, and it doesn't play like old God of War.
Yeah,
it's
like
this
somewhere in the
weird amalgamation of gameplay styles that I think is interesting. The story seems interesting. Even just from the few cutscenes I've seen of the beginning of the game, Kratos and boys' interactions are very, they're very strong. And like Adam was saying about the facial animations and stuff like that, that really interested me. So if it's up to me, I'm going with God of War. A second runner up would be Dark Souls 1 Remastered.
The other game I wanted to pick, and I remember
But that
it came
didn't
out
come out
last
this
year.
year.
The other game I wanted
you're
to
right, it didn't.
I wanted to
I thought
pick
that came out this year.
Well,
But
I mean, the remaster did.
Well, yeah, the remaster did, but not the original. Yeah.
The other game I wanted to pick, but I remembered before I was going to say it came out last year, was Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice.
Yeah, I was gonna think, because I just looked it up to see when that came out, and it came out in 2017.
would've
You know
been a good-
why I
you would've
remembered
made a
is
good argument.
because the chick who did the performance for her won Best Performance of the Year last year.
Oh, okay.
That's why I remembered. By the way, fucking Yuri was robbed. I don't fucking like
Yuri Lowenthal.
He was fantastic. That is the best.
What was he up for?
He was
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Oh, okay. I couldn't remember.
So
Because there's a joke because his
And
name is
on it-
Yuri, and his cop friend in the game, her name is Yuri.
Oh, okay.
and,
Sounds like he's talking to himself.
and honestly, it should have been him or Connor from Detroit. Because say what you will about
oh yeah,
that game
David Kage.
or David Kage,
the dude that
but
plays
that
Connor
dude that played
played
Connor
the
was
shit out of that
fucking
guy.
good.
Yeah.
He was
Everything
fucking
I've
good.
seen of that game, he was fucking good.
He was the best part about that shitty game.
All right. Well, that's it. That's Game of the Year discussion, everyone. We made it through a podcast. And what time? What?
48 minutes.
48 minutes.
Cut it. Cut it now before we get to 50.
All right.
Fuck. Turn it off.
I
Turn it off.
gotta do my
Oh yeah. Fuck, Mary, kill.
I gotta
Ando.
do- Okay, this one is. I'm gonna have some explanation. So I'm doing a Christmas monster. Fuck Mary Kill.
You don't have to talk fast. It's okay.
This is my Christmas monster. Fuck Mary Kill.
Okay.
So, first up, Mari Lude, the Christmas zombie horse. La Befana, she's an old witch from Russia.
Uh-huh.
And the Straggle, who is a Switzerland demon.
Oh my fucking
him.
god.
This is the
He
Straggle.
looks like where the wild things are.
Ooh.
With horns.
This is La Befana.
I'll tell you
She
right
looked like
now.
she
I'm gonna
should
bury
be
that
candy.
And
horse.
there's Mary Lude.
I want to see the horse.
The
Did you
zombie.
hear what Bird said? I'd marry that horse.